Adam, Saturday night instead of Thursday, is that a good result for the club?
I'm not sure. It's when the games are. There's been a bit going on today with the scheduling, but I'm pretty sure there's been a Thursday night final the last 2 or 3 years. So it doesn't worry us at all. So Thursday night, Saturday night, our fans have turned up either way, so we're not worried at all.
I guess the positive must be that maybe gives an extra couple of days for Josh to make sure he's there.
Yeah, he trained today again, so he's just got to train now and get some fitness, and an extra couple of days won't hurt, but we've got to get him through training first. But at the moment, we think he's going to be available.
Do you think that fitness will build? I think he's only played just the 2 games since round 13. You're confident that coming in, given the way he plays as well, such a workhorse, he'll be right there?
I think he'll be okay. We'll take the risk.
Simo, what's your reaction to Hawthorn and that complaining, saying maybe it should have been the Eagles, it shouldn't be us on Thursday night?
I'm not quite sure if the footy departments are complaining too much once you're in the finals where you get scheduled. But, who cares? As long as you got 7 or 8 days break after it. Obviously, the members and fans who have to travel on a Thursday night to a game, it is difficult to get from the country into the city or on flights. But we've been dealing with that for a couple of years. So this is the way it is.
So locking 2 home finals, how much of a boost is that? Obviously you need to go over there and win eventually, but the 2 home finals, that must be a massive boost for your chances.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit, that we've won, we've lost 3 games on the road this year, and we've lost 3 games at home as well. So we've been pretty consistent anywhere this year, and home finals is great, they're important, but it's not everything. So to get the 2 home finals, it still means you've got to win one and to get that prelim, and we get an opportunity next week.
Just the crowd factor does come into it, especially come finals. I was saying the Melbourne Eagles game last week was huge. I mean, it could be a new record for attendance there in WA sporting history. Would you, obviously, you'd encourage all the fans to get down there and wear the blue and gold?
Yeah, we love the crowd. Yeah, the atmosphere at the stadium is, it's gone up another level from the Subi. So to have a home final there, hopefully we can break the record with a sellout, and we play one of the biggest clubs in the country as well. So it's going to be a good one.
Fourth straight year of finals. What have you learned from the past 3 years that maybe could hold you in better stead this year?
Yeah, we've been together for a while now. This is our 5th year with me, obviously, as a senior coach. So a lot of our players have been there from the start. They're a bit more experience, and you go through the highs and lows of success. And our 4th campaign now in a row is a good achievement from the players, and they just seem a little bit more mature every year. So another campaign, and we'll see how we go.
That campaign's important, building on year by year by year. Do you reckon that's what gets you towards?
You're looking for sustained success is everyone's goal. So winning a premiership every year is difficult, but to be thereabouts, but also improving. We think we've improved a little bit this year on last year with our consistency. So each campaign's different, but to have the feeling of today rather than your Mad Monday is definitely better.
The health of your list, you look like you're in a pretty good position compared to a lot of the clubs who've got really long injury lists of key players. Do you feel pretty comfortable with what you've got to select?
I think every club's got issues. Yeah, we're obviously missing some personnel at the moment with some players who we know we won't get back, and some leaders as well. So that's the depth of our list. I know we did transition our list a fair bit last year with losing some experienced players, and we've got some really good kids coming in through in the draft, and we debuted 8 players this year, and I think they've all contributed in their own way. Even Oscar Allen on the weekend was good for us. So we're happy with the kids coming through and with what we've got at the moment.
Was that a difficult selection meeting, or do you think you know your best 22 pretty much in the back end already?
Just coming off the 6-hour flight from Brisbane, so I'm half crook too. So I haven't even reviewed the game yet. So we'll worry about that end of the week.
Adam, every team obviously has their adversity throughout the year, whether it's suspensions, injuries, whatsoever. To finish second, blooding the 8 youngsters, has resilience been a one that's really surprised you, or been an improvement in the area for the club?
No, not really. I'm not surprised. I suppose we've been top 2 or 3 for 17 weeks. So I think the consistency of the group and the maturity has been there all year. So, I'm probably a bit more balanced with it at the moment with our group. So going into the season, with a bit of the unknown with a different looking side, but the reality is we've been thereabouts for almost all the season. So there's no reason why we can't continue that.
Where does the consistency and maturity come from in terms of when you're budding young players? Because everyone strives for the consistency, and maturity obviously usually takes a couple of years for them to get used to it. But where does that come from with this group?
That'd be a good question for Shannon, but from a coaching point of view, we've tried to be a little bit more consistent ourselves with role-driven positions, itinerary, time off, all those things that you learn as you go, and I think we've probably done that a little bit better. But from a playing point of view, I think our leadership's been exceptional on field.
With the debutants that will play in 2 weeks' time, how do you prepare them for the final?
Just throw them in.
In terms of the intensity, I know that it goes up.
Yeah.
Quite a few nights.
They've played in some big games this year, our kids. So, can you compare it to finals? We've had more people at our home games than anyone in the comp. We're averaging 50,000 people, and I'm sure there's another step up, but the only way to get through that is to play in them.
You have a couple of days off this week?
Today and tomorrow.
That's it. Can I ask you about Collingwood coming and having just recently played here? Will that be an advantage to them? And I noticed that Buck said a night game might be different to a day game. Would that be true, playing at Optus, that it is slightly different?
It's darker outside. I know that being for 2 seasons. Look, these things, I've got no control over that, so whatever they want to do, they can do. We've played there at night before, but not too often. We've only played 10 or 11 games there ourselves, so it's still relatively new for us. We haven't locked down the home ground fortress type of feel at the moment. But having said that, we've been training there every week. We're comfortable with the rooms. The crowd's awesome. So it's a privilege to play there.
Shannon, what's your message to the players as you head into it towards the final?
Pretty similar about what we've been doing throughout most of the year and bits of last year is making sure we prepare well, understand what we're trying to achieve as a team, and just making sure that we do that. So I think that's why we've had gets talking about before about with the improvement, is because players understand what they need to work on and what their strengths are, and then where they fit into the team, and that's why our consistency has been quite good.
So Collingwood haven't played a final for a while. You mentioned the back-to-back campaigns you guys have had. Is that an advantage for you guys going into your field?
Yeah. It depends which way you look at it. I think being able to play a reasonable amount of football together certainly helps, and that's what we're able to pass on to the younger guys, just about what to expect. But there's just more outside noise really when it comes to finals. So I think every time you play together helps, and we've been able to do that for the last couple of years. It probably helps, yes.
Adam mentioned at the start of the year, no one knew what to expect from you guys. At what point did you go, hang on, we're actually really good at doing this?
It's a difficult one, because I think when you get a bit older, you probably tend to have a bit more of long-term focus. So it's not like there was just one point where you go, we're a good team, we're going to go well. I think it's just been a building over a period. So I think we Port Adelaide played it right against them, and then there's Richmond. Then also we had someone else, but then also even getting to play against Sydney's and Collingwood. So it's just a build of making sure we're staying in the game, because there's always been momentum swings. But I think now we tend to understand when things go against us, that we can still hang around, stay in the game, just adapt a little bit.
Is this your best season, Shannon? I mean, named in the squad today, the All-Australian squad. How do you see your season?
Well, probably just consistent, I'd say. I think it just comes from having just a bit more experience, understand how you play your best football. I have a lot of enjoyment now about helping and passing on experiences to the group and to the younger players. So that tends to help with it a little bit when you get older. And then if it's been a good year, it's for other people to judge, I think.
Adam, how do you judge his season, and should he be captain? He's probably played well enough to be a skipper.
Well, I've seen obviously Shannon close up, so I think it's another pretty consistent, predictable season that more people have acknowledged. I don't see it too often on the social media, mate, on the Twitter either. So the actions speak louder than the words, and I think the leadership internally is something that's risen every year. So 4th year as captain, the ability to sustain consistent effort, and lead a younger group's been first class from my end.
How's he improved his leadership tonight?
Well, I don't speak too highly of him sitting next to me, but I think just understanding what having empathy for the younger players is something that I've noticed from afar. The leadership group's pretty strong. It's player voted, the captaincy, so they got his back, and I think at critical times he stands up on game day as well.
There's debate at the start of the year about whether he would remain captain or whether someone else would end up being the skipper. Were you ever in doubt that the players would vote him as captain now that we've seen what he's done this year?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was debate.
But externally.
Well, that's for you guys to debate.
Yeah,
so we the players get to vote on that, so they'll sit together and go through, and coaches put in their 2 cents worth, but in the end the players vote.
Tim, are you hopeful Gaffey gets selected in the All-Australian team? Given what he's been through, and it was only 3 games at the end, would you like to see
I think he just deserves it, regardless of what he's been through. So that's self-inflicted what he's been through, by the way. So he's going okay. He's still over in Melbourne with his father, and he's going as best he can. But his form, up until 3 weeks ago, was in the top 5 in the comp. So I would have thought he's a no-brainer. Not that I know.
Sorry, you could have had 5 or 6 in the team. I mean, Shep's probably a little unlucky with Jet, and Darling, obviously the injury cost him. But
Yeah.
do we see too much of West Coast and Fremantle and get excited about their season?
It's all balanced. I don't think too many people outside of here see us either. I think Jamie Cripps has had a pretty good year as well. So every club would have 3 or 4 players that they'd throw up that go under the radar, and I think we've got a couple.
Shannon, will you go over if you get picked? Do you think you'd go to Melbourne?
Well, I'm not sure what they do with that. Normally, I think previous years that's been the case. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, I suppose.
For you at your age, not being disrespectful, but
Yeah.
to be playing so well and to get the recognition and the chance of maybe even being skipper, what does it mean to you?
Oh well, once again, need to get in the team, but it's more about getting older and just being able to put together a consistent season. I know I talk about it all the time, but when you're younger, you think you got it right, and something pops up and something keeps popping up, so you always keep learning. So that's what I've been happy about throughout the career, is you just need to slightly keep changing the way you go about the game. You need to have the basics nutted out about how to defend and use the ball and so forth. But as you get older, you just need to slightly adapt. You can't train as much anymore. You just need to be smart with what you do. So that's what I've been happy about.
So, what have you made of Collingwood this year?
Look, they've really improved, obviously. The consistency of their approach in the way they defend and the way they've always been pretty good at pressure and around the contest, but they've added the element of defence to their style of play, which is, I won't say it's unique, but it's working really well for them at the moment. So we played them at the G a few weeks ago. A really important win for us, but this week or next week will be a completely different story. But I think the consistency of their approach as well. I think they won 7 or 8 games in a row themselves throughout the year, and to be without some key personnel has been pretty impressive.
And Brody Grundy, what sort of challenge is that?
Yeah, it's a big challenge for us. I mean, that was the game that Nick went down halfway through the second. I think Scotty Lycett held his own, more than held his own for the rest of the day. So that was a really important game for him. So I would have thought Brody would be an All-Australian ruckman this year. So we're going to get tested. But, Scotty's had a really consistent year along with Vards as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a good battle.
Lycett's probably had his colours lowered a bit over the past fortnight. What have you made of that, and what do you expect?
Oh yeah, I think he's still a young ruckman finding his craft. He's carrying the load along with Vards, and I think he won't be the first guy to lower his colours against Max Gorman. And on the weekend, he worked his way into the game, and in the end we got on top around the clearances. So yeah, it was it's a learning experience still for Scott.
Can you go back to that Collingwood game much, given the significant changes to both teams since then?
I'll look at it. Yeah, I will look at their current form as well, what they did on the weekend and a few weeks ago. So that there's personnel changes to both sides, but the way you play, and when you get to these type of games, you back your own system in a fair bit. So we'll do that. They'll do that. You'll look at a couple of matchups and little bits of strategy, but for the most part, they know how we play and we know how they play.
With Josh came back in, you played without him for a while, and then Jack was out for a while as well, and you had to swing things inside 50 to work out how to score without them. Have you got a more versatile forward line now as a result of that, do you feel?
Our forward line's probably our most inexperienced part of our side, but it's also probably the most exciting. You know, on the weekend with Jack coming back after concussion, Cripps, Rioli, Ryan, Venables, Oscar Allen, you know, they're all, other than Cripper, they're all first and second year players. So they're exciting, they're quick, and I think with Josh and Darling and Lacroix, they really complement with the experience as well. So that's developing and still not quite where we want to be, but you can't expect too much for first and second year boys.
Simo, would JK have been any chance to play Waffle this weekend if he was allowed to?
Maybe. It's a bit of a steep incline to get him to play. I mean, but I don't think he can qualify unless the reserves. I don't know the rules. He hasn't knocked on the door yet, so we'll see how he goes today.
How do you manage him, Simo? Because obviously he got injured at training, but then he won't have played for so long. For the next 10 days.
I think we just got to get him out there and throw caution to the wind. He can't not do anything and just play. It's been too long, so he's got to really push himself. He knows what he has to do, and he did this pre-season. He missed a lot of football training pre-round one. Missed the first 3 rounds and came straight back in and got some good footy out of him. So yeah, he's a pro.
You're going to have a pretty intense training session over the week.
Yeah, we'll open up this week to our fans and members. I think we'll train on Wednesday here, and then on Friday we might be at Lathlane. So we encourage everyone to come down and have a look. But next week I think we'll be at Optus, and it's just going to cost too much to open up training, so we can't do it next week.
Shannon, in terms of defence and how it's going this year, it appears the defensive place is a really good back six at the moment. There's experience, there's the youth coming through, and you can defend at times, but take it on. Is it sort of the best defensive six that you've had at the club in probably the time under Adam?
Yeah, possibly. I was very fortunate enough to grow up with Glassy, Brett Jones, Daniel Chick played there for a bit, Adam Selwood, Sam Butler, Bo Waters, so a lot of blokes there. I think it just gets back to, again, we've played a fair bit of footy together. Liam Duggan, Tom Cole, Tommy Brass now, they understand what the game's about and fit in quite well, as has Jackson Nelson. So it is quite good, but I know everyone talks about the back six, but it's really, it's how the team defends as well. That's what helps you go about your craft.
Simo, if Josh Kennedy can play Waffle, now they've moved that game to Saturday, is it more likely perhaps that he could play Waffle this weekend?
He doesn't qualify. So,
No.
So I don't know what happens with the reserves and all that sort of stuff, but no, I think we'll probably put a line through it. But we'll see how we go. I haven't had a chance to do anything. We got back at one last night, and yeah.
Shannon, just with younger players, sometimes when they play in a successful side, they kind of think that's just the norm, that success comes easily. How do you help them understand that this is something really precious?
Well, it's probably just in general, just having conversations just with players in general about opportunities. So sometimes you get that really early in your career and sometimes it's late. So that's really all the discussions have been about, is getting opportunity. Now, yes, we finished in the top 2, but even if you finish out in the 8 down the bottom, you still have an opportunity playing finals to go well. So that's all we've been talking about. Every time you get to play, making sure you're playing well, doing what you're meant to be doing. So then when it becomes more towards the end of the year, you've already done it and you know what to expect.
And what about someone like you who's been here for a long time and
Yes.
seen from the outside the club have success?
Yep.
What's it like now being pretty close and having a good shot?
Like playing and
Being part of it and
Oh.
knowing what could lie ahead.
yeah, well, any time you get to play football is great, but really you try to play football, whether it's juniors or seniors, you always want to be able to play in a finals series. So we've got a great opportunity to do that now, and really it's just one of those things you don't look too far ahead because you can't control that. It's just about now preparing for coming up and playing against Collingwood. So that's what we'll be aiming to do.
Would you spend any time talking to Gaffy and Nick and easing them through this time, given that they're going to miss this opportunity and could miss their opportunity? Or is that going to come later?
Well, it'll possibly come later. We, as a club, and I think as a playing group, we've Simo's spoken about it, and I think we've done it quite well. As quite close and got some pretty good spirit, and the conversations we have in general just about supporting the players. So it's been Nick with his injury and Gaffy what he went through. So they understand it and we understand it's unfortunate for them as well. But really it's about what we want to try to achieve at the club. So even if you're not playing, you can still contribute in some way. And you just know that when you're playing, you've got a great opportunity.
Adam, it's go back to Lathlane and train there later in the week and then spend next week at Optus. Is
Yeah.
that around having the most realistic oval that you will play on for?
Oh, they're both Optus size, so we're pretty routine based. So when we play at Optus, we'll train there. So this week being a lighter week, we should have a pretty good squad on Friday. We get 2 ovals, so it's just little things like that. So next week we'll get to train there twice. We normally only train there once, so next week we'll get there twice, and that'll do us. We might train at night, get the feel.
It's nice to be able to have that option.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's home ground. That's why you get the top 2 for that type of advantage, I suppose. But that's like I said, top 4 was a fantastic effort for us, and on the weekend to get the top 2 gives us that little bit extra advantage.
No, you're going to be playing that side, though, MCG or Optus for the rest of the
Yeah.
series, regardless of how long you go. Is that significant for you, knowing that that's a ground side that you can play and prepare?
Well, it is for the club. I mean, they had the foresight to look into the future several years ago and develop the land we've got and had the 2 ovals. It's helped us. We train there pre-season. We feel more comfortable on the bigger ovals. As much as I've never claimed that the size of an oval affects the way you play, it hasn't hurt this year to have those ovals available.
Trelaw, last question. Trelaw and Howe. Do you get caught up in whether they're playing, not playing, and when do you start thinking about them?
Yeah.
Whether they'll be there?
This week's about recovery, a bit of reflection, and then focus back into the week. So we'll sticking to routine. We'll look at the oppo with the players next Tuesday or Wednesday. So this week's not about that yet, but we'll see how they go.